I don't think that this event would be right, though, unless we started off with a real-life example of a life saved, because that is what it is really all about. Now, you know, Trey Anastasio is here. He is a guitarist, you might say, a composer, a vocalist. He's most noted for his work with the rock band Phish. He is credited as a composer of 152 original songs. 140 of them he singly wrote and is credited for. Rolling Stone has ranked Trey as one of the top 100 guitar players of all time. And I have read quotes from the likes of Eric Clapton, who stand in awe of Trey when he plays. Phish's musical ethos is a mix of, as you know, improvisation, rock, jazz, funk, bluegrass, blues, country, classical. When Phish takes the stage, 80,000 fans show up on a regular basis. He heads a band that has sold over 8 million albums and DVDs. You may be looking at me saying, what does this have to do with drug court? Well, I will let Trey come up and tell you exactly what it means about drug court. Trey Anastasio.
Thank you. Hi, thank you. My name is Trey Anastasio, and I am a recovering alcoholic and a proud graduate of the Washington County Drug Court program. Thanks. And I'm here to speak today for a few minutes about my overwhelming support for the drug court system and the circumstances that led to my beliefs. In 2006, I was arrested in Whitehall, New York, for narcotics possession and driving under the influence. My primary addiction at that time was to Vicodin and other opiate-based painkillers, but alcohol played a large part in my story, as well as various other drugs. At the time, my life had become a catastrophe. I had no idea how to turn it around. My band had broken up. I'd almost lost my family. My home life had devolved into a disaster, and I had begun to experience health problems. I tried to break my addiction on more than one occasion with no success. It's no exaggeration to say that I was hanging by a thread. I believe that the police officer who stopped me at 3 a.m. that December morning saved my life, and I knew at the instant he pulled me over. I often wonder how many other lives he might have saved that night, because I was driving on the New York State Thruway right beside other cars, other families, and other lives. So if you jump forward to today, I'm here speaking before you. I've been sober for 2.5 years. Thanks. My children are happy. In August, my wife and I will celebrate our 15th wedding anniversary. My band is back together with a sold-out tour in front of us. And in September, I'll play a solo concert at Carnegie Hall with the New York Philharmonic. I owe all of this to drug court, and that's what I'm here to talk about. Drug court stopped me in my tracks. During my 14 months in the program, I was subjected to an extremely strict regimen. This was a no-nonsense system in which it was virtually impossible to pick up a drink or a drug during that crucial and difficult first year of sobriety. I performed 215 hours of community service at the county fairground. I scrubbed toilets. I had the great honor of talking to teenagers who had been arrested and were heading down dangerous paths. I attended 6 months of court-ordered outpatient programs and attended 12-step meetings every day. When my time in drug court was completed, I was not only clean, but I had the clarity I needed to dedicate myself to serving others. Now, if I had been sentenced to prison for that same amount of time, 2 things would have happened. The state would have spent tens of thousands of dollars to keep me there, and I would have spent 14 months in a negative, violent atmosphere surrounded by drugs. I know that for a fact because during my 14 months of treatment, I missed just one of hundreds of court-ordered appointments. For that lapse, I was handed 2 days in jail. And I can tell you that behind bars, there was rampant drug use. What's more, the people I met there spent their time blaming judges and lawyers for their circumstances. Not in drug court. In drug court, full responsibility for your situation rests with you. You and you alone have to work your way out of your problems. That being said, in the drug court program, you're not alone. There were many people in my program who couldn't afford Christmas presents for their children. Drug court alumni bought those presents for them. I met people whose lives had descended into hellish chaos before they entered the program. I became friends with one woman who, before entering drug court, was a prostitute and was using and dealing crack with her own daughter. Heartbreaking is the only word for it. A year later, after completing the intense and strict work of the drug court program, she emerged a changed person, strong, healthy, and ready to help others. I would like every community in America to have the option of sentencing drug offenders to drug court. When we imprison people for minor drug offenses, we waste money and we waste lives. Prison will turn a person with a substance abuse problem into a lifetime felon. Drug courts can change that same person into a sober citizen, someone who takes responsibility for their actions and who stands ready to help others. I saw miracles happen because of drug courts, and I am one of them. And it's a testament to the drug court program that my case manager, Melanie Vaughn, traveled all the way from upstate New York tonight at her own expense to be here. And she is standing right over there. Hi, Melanie. I want to say I owe her an enormous debt of gratitude. And thank you, Melanie. I want to thank you today for the opportunity to share my story. I hope it offers one more piece of evidence that the drug court system is an invaluable tool that helps us save money, save families, and save lives. Thank you.